We now return to Avalon, a short radio play in 3 parts. Part 2, Mordred.
Father, why have you forsaken me?
It was Guinevere. She was the ruination of you, of us, of everything. That woman was Scotch itself. From the moment you brought her home, it was evident she could not be trusted. I had to be especially guarded, blessed as I am with mother's beauty. After all, no woman in the kingdom can resist me. I told her this as a warning. I told her, indeed, I could have any woman I wished, and not just because I was prince. She corrected me. Half prince. I smiled to acknowledge the formality. She corrected me again. I could possess any woman in the Camelot, in all of Camelot, but for one. Temptress issuing her challenge. I was keenly aware of what she was doing and had to keep a step ahead. I made liberal use of the small corridors between the walls to ensure she was never far from my sight or footsteps. When the court would observe, beside the royal bedchamber, the king and queen engaging in their air-raising activity, I observed how she writhed under you, father. She directed those dances at me. Well, when a bitch is in heat, all the dogs pick up her scent, don't they? There, leading the pack, was the tongue-wagging Lancelot. Embarrassing. All those attempts to talk with her, corner her, tell her jokes that did not provoke even the slightest green on those supple cheeks, sensuous lips. The only time she did offer a smile his way was for the state functions, and even then it seemed like a burden, as though it took all that she could do to muster. The idiot persisted. Embarrassing. Finally she had no choice but to swat the fly away, into exile. And at last she could concentrate on our affair undistracted. She was expert at romantic intrigue, and I, of course, already well-versed in espionage. Unlike naive Lancelot, we had to play the role of adversaries, so as not to draw whispers. My notes would go unanswered, and any conversation, she always cut short. God, how she thrilled me. The necklaces she wore just for me, pointing to her generous bosom, bellows in a bodice, breathing life to our flame. She would attend government councils, offering her opinion, shaping policy, and frightening all the men. I was not frightened, no. I knew she was there for me. Under the table, I made good sport of her speeches. Finally, father, I could bear her teasing, endure her taunting no more. One night, when you had dispassionately slunk away from her room, I snuck in. She heard the door open, and her eyes were alight with anticipation. At last I had come to her. But then she appeared stunned, worried almost immediately, gathering up the blankets about her bare porcelain-smooth shoulders. Her voice undertook those haughty tones, the one she mastered throughout our ruse, commanding me to leave. She was the queen. If I dare lay a hand on her, she would act as her own protector. If I left at that moment, though, she would spare you, father, always you. The embarrassment of my overreaching affection, or whatever euphemism she employed. Of course, she must have heard you making your way towards her door once more. Clearly this was her signal to me to secure safe passage away. I secreted through a hidden door I'm not certain she had yet discovered. I knew of it. Of course I did. That's how, in her sleep, she gifted me a lock of her hair. Soon after, Lancelot, the great knight, was released from exile, and his distraction once again thwarted our racy game. This time, though, she returned his glances, his kisses, his thrusts. I watched her do so. I hailed from the royal house. He was the help. I would have made a fine knight, yet I was your son, however ill-acknowledged. You didn't want me to playing those games, learning the craft of war. You wanted your heir to be a diplomat, lead the kingdom with words instead of swords, usher in a new era of... Men don't respect words, father, no matter how enlightened. The words, that is. Men are too brutish to be enlightened, too carnal. Those who say they prefer the finer things, why, they merely drape silk over their lusts. It's swords, not words, men follow. Every holy writ is more useful as a tool to secure one's desires, so I'm told. You didn't want me injured. That cow you married was not fulfilling her duty, her only true role in regards to the matters of state, but it was an expectation upon which she just could not deliver. Perhaps Lancelot clapped when she entered the room. He filled her room with a pox and applause. I was the next best available option, if you wanted to keep the line of succession in your direct bloodline. My half-brothers, your nephews, you loved those knights as sons. Well, who knows, father? They might as well have been. Magic. It was magic that confused you. Yes, that's why you lay with your sister. That was the excuse for the incestuous act that gave form to me. My beautiful mother, unspoiled by the world until your crime. The rose, the kingdom, the first snow. She should have been queen. Why was she never asked to reach for Excalibur? Why did you not offer it? If one such as you were worthy, then what of one such as she? She had to be sullied, correct, father? A virgin goddess to rival the mother of your prized Jesu? But not for this kingdom. Aye, father? Was it magic, uncle? A trick of dear dead Morgan, as you and the wizard claim? Or was it the magic of mead that made you rape my mother? Caught up in the spell of your own festering jealousy. Yet she remained loyal to you. Guinevere remained loyal to you. Even I was loyal for a time. Such were your charms as a politician. I honestly believed you did not want me to engage in combat because you were trying to protect me. You wanted me unmanned, helpless to defend myself. The moment your stock was born and I was no longer useful to your succession, assassins would have entered my bedchamber and slit my throat. Could we not have been allies, at least? I told you of Guinevere's betrayal. I showed you their sullied sheets. Let her be happy. What kind of a man says that about his wife? A lame man, perhaps? Whatever affliction feebled you, father, your precious knights were none too pleased to learn of the queen's misconduct, with one of their alleged chivalrous own, nonetheless. It was they who forced you, father, they who were so knowledgeable in the law and still somewhat primitive, although appropriate in this case, punishment for adultery. You had no choice. The almighty King Arthur could not fail to administer the laws of his own land. If he did, chaos would reign, not the hand that held Excalibur. And all she had to do was die. Prior to her scheduled demise, you curiously sent away many of the knights on a quest, yes. It's little wonder Lancelot was able to break the lines of the palace guard and rescue fair Gwen from execution. Oh, they galloped away, the two bonny whores, swallowed by the horizon like all the demons of hell. With the knights in shocking discord, you, clearly beyond your years, is it any wonder it should come to this? Huh? I will bury you on this battlefield. Excalibur be damned, the crown is mine. Look at you, costumed in bright royal robes under the glittering armor. What a farce you've become. I know your heart, Newt. You remain nothing more than a stable boy, eager to dress up as a knight and swing your sword. Here's your chance a final time. What trick is this? You can't even slay me. You can't slay me even with blessed Excalibur. A sphere? A common sphere? I am a prince from the house Pendragon. It was the sphere that pierced your beloved Nazarene, was it not? That drew his demigod blood. I will be reborn, Father, same as him, and I will reign same as him. But unlike him, I take my sword to thee.
Thus concludes Part 2 of Avalon. Which character from Arthurian legend will speak last? Stay tuned for the final chapter later in this broadcast.